The last page of our notes is solving real-life problems. And in example 4, the radius of a sphere is given by this equation right here, where V is the volume of the sphere. We're supposed to find the radius of the beach ball shown over here to the nearest foot. Use 3.14 for pi. So notice we have a volume right here. The volume of the beach ball is 113 cubic feet. I'm going to write that down here in my solution. I'm going to need that the volume is 113 cubic feet. So the first thing we have to do is understand the problem. Here's step 1 in the word problem. You know the equation that represents the radius. That was given to us. We're asked to find the radius for the given volume. What we need to do is we need to just substitute in the V, the volume that we're given, and find the radius. So it's really just a matter of plugging numbers into the formula. So we have, for our volume, we're plugging in 113. So we have 3, this equation right here, 3 times 113 divided by 4 times pi, but we're supposed to use 3.14 for pi. And then we're going to raise that to the 1/3 power. In other words, we're doing a cube root. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my calculator. 3 times 113 is 339. And 4 times 3.14 is 12.56. And at this point, you know what? I'm just going to grab my Desmos calculator and find it. So here we go. I need to do, so I'm going to use the parentheses. I'm going to do 339 divided by 12.56. Now I need to arrow out of that, so I'm going to move out and put my parenthesis. Oops. And now I'm going to raise that to a power. So don't see where the power button is on there, so here's what we can do. On your keyboard, the Shift 6 will get you to an exponent, and then I'm going to do 1 divided by 5. So I have the 1/5 power. I'm going to arrow out of that. Is that it? 339 divided by 12.56 to the 1/3 power. Did I type in a 5? I did. Let me go fix that. That's not a 5, that's a 3. A 1/3 power. Looks better, doesn't it? Okay. Enter. And we've got our calculator. I didn't even need to push enter, it was already there. 2.99. Lots of 9s. Okay, going back. 2.9996, and on it goes. I'm rounding it to the nearest foot, so that will be 3 feet. Now, I like what they did at the end. It says, look back and check your answer to make sure that it is reasonable. Does our answer look reasonable? Check to make sure your answer is reasonable. That's a really good way to finish up a problem. Okay, so 3 feet it is. All right, example number 5. Calculate the annual inflation rate of an item that increases in value from P to F. So we're going from P to F over a period of n years. You can use this formula, that equation right there. We're going to find the annual inflation rate to the nearest 0.1%. Notice they gave us some rounding. Of a house that increases in value from, so there's our P, and here's our F. From P to F, we're increasing from P to F. So as you read through the problem, start analyzing the numbers, see what they represent. And over here, n equals 5. So n is in years, it's 5 years. So n equals 5. So we're going to plug those numbers into the formula. This is our solution strategy. We're going to plug the numbers into the formula. We're going to grab our calculator and find our answer. All right, so inflation rate, and this is going to be as a decimal, and then we'll have to change the decimal to a percent. 235,000 is our F, divided by 200,000, which is our P, to the 1/5 power, 1 over n, and then we have to subtract 1. Now, I'm going to simplify that just a little bit so I don't have to type in so many zeros. I can cancel off some zeros if I divide both the top and the bottom by 1,000. I can reduce it by 1,000 top and bottom. So we have this expression minus 1. I'm going to grab my Desmos calculator. I'm going to find out what that is. So here we go, back to the Desmos calculator. And clear that and start over. So I'm going to do 235 divided by 200. You can put in all the zeros if you want, but it's not really necessary. Oops, that's not the right spot for that. Let me arrow out of that a little bit. I want my parenthesis here. And then I'm going to raise that to the 1/5 power. So I'm going to do Shift 6 to get the exponent. 1 divided by 5. Or you can use the fraction button over here, but I just prefer to divide because fractions are dividing. I'm going to arrow out of that. And then I have to subtract 1 from all that. Make sure your 1 is not up there as part of the exponent. That's subtracting 1. And we get 0.03277, 0.03277, and so on. Okay, so back to my notes. 0.0327779, on and on it goes. I'm supposed to round this to the nearest tenth of a percent. To change that decimal to a percent, we move it 2 places. So we get 3.2779%, but to the nearest tenth, it's going to be 3.3%. And there we go.